On this edition of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast, he's become a world traveler in his short career, and Matt Grabmann is hoping to do a lot more of it soon. Welcome to episode 151 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. We've been checking in with a few members of the Baseball Canada Junior National Team who have connections here in Alberta. First, it was Max Hartman, then Boston Workington, and now Matt Grabmann. Another Dawgs Academy product, the right-hander struck out 3 batters in 3 innings of relief work in the second game of the 7-game Friendship Series against the U.S. He followed that up with an appearance at the Baseball Factory All-America game last weekend in Kansas City, where he was touching 95 miles an hour and drew praise for his performance. It followed a great summer for the 18-year-old, who went 5-0 with a 3.03 ERA and 16 appearances for Dawgs Black, striking out 39 in 35-plus innings of work. The Nova Scotia native has packed a lot of baseball into his itinerary after the long COVID layoff, and he hopes to do more of it sooner rather than later. He's hoping to suit up for the Division I University of Oregon before too long. We talked about all of his experiences and much more in this conversation earlier this week. Matt, thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
What a wild ride you've been on baseball-wise over the last little while here. Let's start with Kansas. Last weekend at the Baseball Factory All-America game. What was that experience like?
It was definitely a great experience. It's the third MLB park I believe I've played at throughout my life. So Kaufman's, it's beautiful. Went through a reno, I think, a couple of years ago in 2009. So it looks brand new for a 40-year-old stadium or so. So the entire experience was great. Got to play with some really good guys. So I loved it.
How did that opportunity all come to be?
So I played with the junior national team a bit in Florida and in Ajax as Boston, Max, and a couple other of the Dawgs guys. And Greg Hamilton, I believe, passed my name along for that event. Me and Turner Spoljaric, another kid who played on JNT, ended up going. So it was kind of Greg Hamilton put our names in. We ended up getting the call, getting invited. So that's how it came to be.
What was it like repping the Maple Leaf in a big event like that, as you mentioned, being one of 2 Canadians to do so?
Oh, it was great. Actually, for when we were in Florida, we, of course, played Team USA with JNT. So a lot of those guys on that team were there. We got to talk to them a little about the series and then get to know them. So it was great. And it was a great experience just representing Canada in that event, because there has been Canadian players in the past like Calvin Ziegler and Mitch Bratt who were there last year. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Prior to that game, as you mentioned, you got to represent Canada with the junior national team. What was that experience like?
That was definitely a dream come true. I've kind of eyed the junior national team for the last couple of years, and because of COVID, it's been put aside due to the fact that a lot of their events and trips got canceled. So when I got the call, I was really excited, and it was a great experience. Just great guys, and we really enjoyed our time out there.
So you go down to Florida, play a bunch of games against your U.S. counterparts. What did you take away from that experience as a baseball player?
I'd say the one thing I did take away is my ability to pitch against some of the top guys, not only in the United States but in the world. That was my first time really pitching against people who will be drafted next year and for the years to come. So I think just taking the fact that I do have the ability and then that confidence definitely helps me along the road.
What did it mean to you to represent your country at a tournament like that as well, going up against the U.S.? I'm sure there's a little, I don't want to call it hostilities. It's not like you know these guys, but at the same time, there's always that little friendly rivalry, we'll call it that.
Yeah, definitely. We're rivals. It was a great experience, especially because I did know a couple kids going into that on the U.S. team. So I got to see them and play against them. So that was great. And then just representing Canada is always an honor. was my first time actually representing the nation in any sporting capacity, whether it be hockey or baseball. So I really enjoyed that, and it was a great experience.
And how cool was it to be able to do it with guys that you've known for a while, whether it's some of the Dawgs guys that you've met over the last couple of years here, or even a fellow Dartmouth guy like Ty Doucette?
Yeah, definitely. Being able to do it with Ty and then all the other Dawgs guys was a great experience. Going into that, we did know each other, but we also got to branch off those relationships and meet new kids. So it was a really good time.
I was going to ask about that side of it as well. As there's the baseball side, there's the day in, day out stuff that you're doing from a baseball perspective, learning from some of the big names across this country. But what is it like building those friendships and those relationships with people, not just the Canadians, but as you mentioned, you get to know some of the American guys as well?
Yeah, definitely. Building relationships was probably one of the best parts of that experience, both with Team Canada and Team USA. There will definitely be relationships there that will last a lifetime and along down the road, whether that be in college baseball or in minor league, major league baseball. So I did get to meet kids I probably wouldn't have had or gotten the opportunity to meet if I didn't go. So that was a good experience. And it was just all around meeting new people, being in close quarters with everyone, especially when people have the same goals. It's always a good experience.
What's it like from your perspective to be considered part of that elite group of Canadian talent and be able to play with some of the best across Canada?
It's an honor. It's a dream come true. For a while now, I've eyed the junior national team, and I always thought I had the, talent, so to say, to play on it. So having that come to fruition was definitely an honor and privilege.
Let's go back to the beginning here and how you got into baseball in the first place. Do you remember the first time you stepped foot on a diamond? Did you love it right away? Who got you into it?
Oh, God. That was a while ago. It was my dad. Actually, it was a combination of my dad and mom who initially got me in it. In my family, my mom was more so the hockey person. My dad was the baseball person. So I think I was probably around the age of 6. T-ball. I remember all I wanted to do was hit. I did not want to throw a baseball. So that's definitely changed throughout my time playing the game. But I loved it instantly. I never wanted to leave the baseball field. So, yeah.
Did you play other sports growing up? I assume hockey was probably a big one for you.
Yeah, definitely. I played hockey, and then for a short time I played football, but the major two ones were hockey and baseball.
Was it tough making that choice to try to chase one versus the other, or were you pretty set on trying to do both as long as you possibly could?
I was set on doing both as long as I could. This is my first real year of playing only one sport, that being baseball. So I tried to play it in the high school, and then my outlook on it was the sport will choose me. So baseball, of course, ended up being the path that had the most opportunities. So that's why I went with it, and that's why I'm still enjoying it.
And as you mentioned, you started off as, I believe, a catcher and maybe an infielder, and then you shifted over to pitching. What was it that kind of flicked the switch, so to speak, and allowed you to realize that maybe this is the path that I want to take?
Yeah, definitely. I started out as a catcher, as you said. The first, I can't even remember how long it was. I was always a catcher, and then I moved to the middle infield. And then it wasn't until like last year, 2 years ago, that I really got on the mound. And the only reason I did get on the mound was because of my velocity. People started eyeing that up. And then as soon as you see someone throw hard on a mound, it's like they're a pitcher. So that's kind of what happened to me. And my goal was to try to play both positions and let the game choose the position I will play, whether that be in college or professional baseball. And it ended up being pitching. So that's where I am now.
You're a Nova Scotia boy. How is it that you ended up in Alberta with Dawgs Academy in Okotoks?
So during COVID, I came out initially, but kind of my connection to Okotoks started way before that. Like Micah McDowell from Nova Scotia was with the Dawgs for a couple of years before me. And then Tyler Hollick, I think, reached out my second year of 15U. And that's when I was still in school and didn't really want to leave. And then it wasn't until COVID where it was like, okay, I'll go try out the academy. And I've been out here ever since.
Was it difficult to make that adjustment and move away from home as young as you did? And it's not just, hey, you're skipping over a province or two. It's basically across the country.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I feel like the transition was a lot easier. Like, I came from an experience, I went to school in the States prior to coming out to the academy. So I lived in dorms and all that, so I was used to living away from home. But the biggest transition and difference for me was living with a billet family. So that kind of took a couple months to get used to. But besides that, it's been a really good experience. I've loved it out here.
You mentioned the experience. What has it done for you in your game, and also not just from a game perspective, but also from a human being perspective?
Yeah, definitely. Relationships is always a big one. I've met people out here I will probably talk to for the rest of my life, whether that be in the confines of baseball or not. And then plus on a development perspective, the pitching development has been great. Jeff Duda, our pitching coordinator, has been a godsend to me because I came out here never having a pitching coach in my life. And when I first came out here, I had really bad control issues, just to say the least. So he kind of took me aside, guided me along the path, and now I'm here where I am because of him.
One of the things a lot of the academy guys do is hope to one day step foot on the field at Siemens Stadium with the WCBL team. You got to do that this past summer, and what was that experience like?
Oh, it was great. Playing in a college league for the first time was definitely a different experience because I'm, of course, used to playing my own age group, my own age. So playing against individuals who not only are in college but are 2 to 3 years older than me was a challenge, but I really enjoyed it. And just playing at Siemens was a great experience. And playing with people I've known for the past couple of years was also really fun.
A few guys have said as well, one of the differences is, hey, you've got fans in the stands now. Was that a bit of an eye-opener for you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I remember I didn't pitch on Canada Day, but there was a lot of people there, and I didn't realize it until I got to the bullpen and looked out and then saw everyone. And then when I got on the mound the first time, not only I pitched at Lethbridge as my opener, I guess, and then when I got on the mound on Seaman, that's when I finally realized just how many people there were. So it was, I guess, nerve-wracking, but it was also really fun.
Now you've committed to Oregon, a powerhouse Division I school. How did that opportunity all come to be?
Yeah, so I talked to Oregon, I think, at the beginning of, or later end of 2019 after Tournament 12, and kind of kept that relationship up until I came out here. And then Jeff Duda, as I said, the pitching coordinator, he kind of runs all the college placement stuff. I got back in contact with Oregon, Jack Martyr, their recruiting coordinator, and then finally had the opportunity to commit, and I took it.
What excites you most about the potential of heading there as that next step in your baseball journey?
I'd say definitely just the competition. The Pac-12 is a very good baseball conference. So I look forward to pitching not only against Pac-12 hitters, but some of the best hitters in the nation and in college baseball. And then also I will get to see some of my Dawgs teammates in the Pac-12 in some Pac-12 action. So that will be fun.
What are you hoping to work on over the next year or so that you're able to hit the ground running, I suppose, and get yourself ready to really make an impact on that team?
I definitely just say my pitchability, to be honest. Like, velocity for me has always been there, so that's the least of my concern, but definitely just the ability to throw any pitch in any count, and then working on, of course, my breaking balls and my off speed is always priority for me.
Mm-hmm. You've done a lot of world traveling over the course of your young career. You've seen a lot of ballparks. You played in, as you mentioned, I believe 3 MLB parks now. Any favorite moments or experiences or even tournaments that maybe stick out to you as those holy cow moments?
I definitely say this year has definitely been, there's been a couple of those. For one, pitching against the U.S. the first time. I think that's the hardest I've ever thrown. I got on the mound, the adrenaline just pumping through my body, so that was really fun. And then I'd say Kansas City was probably also a holy cow moment just because I stepped on the mound and was like, this place is massive. And then I got to pitch against, as I said, some of the best players in the country again. So that was a great experience.
Do you find yourself sometimes, and especially this past summer, where you almost have to take that deep breath and go, wow? Like, do you just have to focus in on the game itself and not worry about all those external situations and moments that are kind of happening at you?
Yeah, definitely. This year, I've had a lot more opportunity than I thought I would have. So I think I have to stay humble. That's my thing, because there's a lot of things happening around me. Sometimes I just have to take a step back and just say, am who I am, and then I can just continue on.
Mm-hmm. One of the questions we like asking here on the podcast is all about advice, and whether it was Dawgs or whether it was back home in Nova Scotia or whatever the case may be, you might have had alumni or those kinds of guys come through and offer pieces of advice or wisdom on getting to that next step. You're still young, but you still have that benefit of 2020 hindsight in the not too distant past here. What kinds of advice would you offer to those 12 or 13 or 14-year-old kids who are trying to make their mark on the baseball journey?
I definitely just say chase your dreams. For me, I've always kind of dreamed big. As I said, I always looked up on like the junior national team, for example, and programs like that. So setting your goals high and then having, I guess, working towards those goals would definitely be something I would give to not only my younger self, but younger individuals playing the sport in Canada.
And now that you're that guy with some goals in mind, you've seemed to accomplish a few of them. So what's sort of next on your radar?
Definitely getting ready to play Pac-12 baseball, Division I baseball in general, and then also preparing myself for possibly being drafted, which has always been a goal of mine, especially out of high school.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Final question for you here, Matt. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
I'd say it means everything, but that just kind of sounds corny. Honestly, it's given me so many opportunities, whether it be going to college, getting the proper education, but it's kind of guided my life and has really just crafted who I am, not only my personality, but the relationships I have currently in life.
It's been quite the journey for you so far, Matt, and it's only just beginning. Again, congratulations on all the success you've had at this point. Continued success going forward, and thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks again to Matt Grabmann for joining us this week, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. We'd also like to thank our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dawgs, for their continued sponsorship. They were the first to join us way back when, and were first to jump on board with our new tiered supporter package. All that support helps us cover costs and tell the best stories we can through our website, social media, and here on the podcast. So a tip of our cap again to the Dawgs. Until next time, thanks for all of your support, no matter the platform, of Alberta Dugout Stories.